These are some of the most brutal moments where poker players lose with ultimate hands, from crazy coolers to tragic bad beats. In this video, you're about to see poker's cruelty at its finest. Stick around, because we've saved the most shocking bad beat for last. Let's get right into the action. And first up, we have a hand so crazy that even Phil Ivey couldn't believe his eyes. It's the 2019 Triton Super High Roller in Rozvadov, a 100,000 euro buy-in event stacked with the game's biggest names. And then, the unthinkable happens. Cale Burns opens the action with pocket aces in the hijack, and Phil Ivey looks down at pocket kings in the cutoff. A disaster in the making already, but it doesn't stop there. Ivey moves all in, more focused on his sandwich than the action at the felt. Michael Zhang joins the action, moving all in with ace-queen suited. And as if the dealer didn't have enough trouble keeping up with all the action, Kristen Bicknell gets dealt pocket queens. She also moves all in, and Burns just can't believe how much action he's getting with his aces. So we've got aces versus kings versus queens versus ace-queen suited. Everyone in the room is on their feet. The flop comes down, and boom, a queen on the flop, and Kristen improves to a set. The turn gives Ivey some hope, but only for a second. Another 10 on the river seals the deal. Bicknell scoops the pot, quadrupling up, and Phil Ivey is eliminated in a brutal fashion. Ivey did rebuy in the tournament after this one, but in the end, he couldn't secure the bag this time around. But the player in the next hand definitely did secure the bag, in arguably the sickest cooler ever caught on livestream. This hand comes from Poker at the Lodge, and we have a massive pot brewing pre-flop. Harley Robb goes for a 3-bet with ace-queen of clubs, and he gets a bunch of callers. We go 4 ways to the flop, and Harley flops the nut flush draw, but instead of going for a C-bet, he quickly checks. Slicer also picks up plenty of equity, so he bets $100. Harley Robb makes the call. With so many strong draws out there, you can probably already guess where this is going. And the turn hits a 9 of clubs, and Slicer makes the stone cold nuts, but instead of jumping out of his chair, he plays it very cool, casually chatting like he's not even involved in the hand. He bets again, $200 this time, and Robb has a tough decision to make. He has a monster hand, but with that paired board, it's nowhere close to the nuts. He does go for the check raise, and Slicer is loving the action, but he doesn't pounce right back and just calls instead. A brilliant move. He has position, he has the cards, and he's in no rush to show his opponent his hand strength. Of course, the river card changes nothing, and Robb looks down at his stack, pondering another bet. He has the betting lead now, so he knows he has to fire another shell. Slicer moves all in, and he gets looked up immediately. That was a brutal cooler for sure, but trust me, we're only just getting started. Next up, you're about to see one of the best hero folds I've ever seen in a high-stakes tournament. We're at the Triton NLH 8-handed event in London, with a buy-in of a whopping £200,000. Only 8 players left in the tournament, and Chris Brewer gets tangled up in a massive pot against Espen Jorstad. The flop promises crazy action, as Jorstad flops a set, and Brewer flops a king-high flush. Espen leads out with a small bet, and Brewer just flat calls, carefully concealing his hand strength. It looks like he's about to set a massive trap, but then the turn comes. Another jack, and Espen makes quads. Brewer checks again, and Espen keeps barreling, looking to build up the pot as quickly as possible. Brewer makes another call, but the alarm bells in his head are already ringing. The river changes nothing, and Chris checks for the 3rd time. After a bit of Hollywooding, Jorstad finally moves all in. Brewer immediately calls for extra time, knowing this is not going to be an easy decision. With a flopped flush, how could he possibly get away from this hand?
As you already mentioned, with Brewer calling that turn bet, Jorstad is going to give him some very strong holdings here, but also knowing that he covers so much of the board. Oh,
this is a crazy f***ing hand. I flop f***ing flush.
Not often you hear Brewer
Beat value, but I don't know if I can fold.
immediately throws out all of his time extension chips, Maria. Has 17 time extension chips in front of him.
I don't think I'm supposed to call it every time. It's a really wild f***ing hand.
5 seconds?
Just take the time banks. Don't have to tell me 5 seconds. I have infinite. Holy shit. I mean, this is a nuts spot. Alright, let's think about this.
A rare treat for the viewers around the world as we get to hear some of Brewer's thought process.
Oh, you have some ace 10, ace queen clubs. No, you don't have ace 10 clubs. You have some ace queen clubs. It's probably the only nut flush you have, because you probably 3-bet low ones. Okay. Probably 3-bet jacks. Don't flat jack 9 suited. Those 9s and 8s. 9s, 8s, ace 10, ace queen clubs.
Counting the combos of value hands that have him beat here, and just wondering how often does Espen have offsuit combos of ace X with the ace of clubs that he
Right.
calls the open from under the gun with. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't think there's that many.
How are you doing? Not too bad. I don't think it's flat. 7-6 of clubs.
Well, I'm not going to say too.
No,
Take picture of the guy in the final phase.
There you have it, giving Espen
even if
9 value combos.
he's still supposed to fold. I need you to have like 7s with a club and just run it. Alright.
And then, finally, he does the unthinkable. He lays it down. Brewer managed to avert a disaster here, but other players were not so lucky, because sometimes a disaster is all but inevitable, as you'll see next. The year is 2010. The show Poker Stars' The Big Game, a televised cash game featuring pros, celebrities, and one amateur loose cannon player each. Back in the day, this was poker entertainment at its peak. And this time, Tony G was in full form, talking nonstop, trying to get under everyone's skin in the typical Tony G fashion. But Vanessa Rousseau is having none of it. Action folds around to Tony, and he goes for the open raise with 6-5 offsuit. Unfortunately for him though, Vanessa looks down at pocket aces. Against any other player, she would probably go for a standard 3-bet, but against Tony, she's cooking up something else. She knows Tony's range is likely weak here, and she doesn't want to blow him out of the pot just yet, so she goes for a tricky line, just flat calling instead. And boy, does this strategy pay off big time. Tony keeps up with his antics, announcing a C-bet even before the flop is dealt. And even to his own surprise, he flops 2 pair. Of course, Vanessa is not buying it, so she fires right back at Tony. And Tony comes back over the top with another massive raise, confident he has the best hand at the moment. Vanessa makes the call, but she's not too thrilled about it. An exciting hand so far, but it's about to get a lot more interesting. An ace of spades, and Tony is suddenly not so peppy anymore. He fires off a $10,000 bet, a small blocker bet designed to prevent Vanessa from making a bigger bet herself. And it works, as Vanessa flat calls again with her top set. But for a moment there, it looks like Tony just may be able to dodge a bullet, but then a disaster hits, a 5 of hearts, and both players boat up. Now, you just know this hand can only end one way. Vanessa rakes in a massive pot, while Tony is left speechless for once. A rare sight on the big game.
For Vanessa, best card ever, full house over full house.
All in.
Call.
Ace is full.
Wow, very nice. That's the best. Very nice.
You got screwed?
I got a full house too on the end.
Wow.
And a flush draw. That's it. That shut me up. Well done, Vanessa.
Vanessa doubles through.
I got lucky, obviously.
Not really. I mean, it's...
We took turns getting lucky. I got lucky to get the aces, you got lucky on the flop, I got lucky on the turn.
I haven't won one hand when I've been good. So.
When it comes to putting a show on the felt, no one does it better than Tony G. But in this next clip, another player really gives Tony a run for his money. Every so often, poker gives us a hand so absurd, you almost think it was scripted. Now, add in a player dressed as Poseidon, god of the sea, and you've got one of the most unforgettable moments in Triton poker history. It's the 2023 Triton Super High Roller Series in Cyprus, and the buy-in is $200,000. Dan Jungleman Cates, donning his Poseidon outfit, gets tangled up in a massive multi-way pot with pocket eights. Across the table sits Thailand's Punat Punzri, one of the top tournament crushers in the world. He goes for a massive 3-bet with pocket aces, looking to thin the field pre-flop, since the pocket aces don't really perform well in multi-way pots. Action folds round back to Dan, and he makes the call. Then the flop comes, 8-8-6, and Cates flops quads. Punzri has no idea what's in store for him. He makes a standard C-bet, and Dan just plays it cool. he flat calls, just luring his opponent into the depths. And just when you think it can't get any worse for Punsri, the turn comes. An ace of diamonds, and Punsri makes a full house. But little does he know, his boat is about to be swept beneath the waves, commanded by the mighty sea god himself. He quickly checks, thinking that he's the one that's setting the trap. Dan goes for a small bet, and Punsri makes the call. The river card doesn't change a thing, and Punsri checks again, still confident he has the best hand. Dan moves all in. And of course, Punsri snaps him off and immediately gets shown the bad news. Kate's got incredibly lucky in this one, but that's nothing compared to this next hand. Now, we're at the 2019 Triton Poker High Stakes Cash Game. The stakes here are sky high, and you're about to see a run out so unbelievable, even Kates himself couldn't believe it. Rui Kao opens the action with ace-10, and he gets 2 callers. Mikita Badziakuski is getting a good price on the call, but instead of flatting, he does something totally unexpected. He moves all in, betting more than $250,000. High risk, high reward play, and everyone gets out of the way. Except for Dan. He feels something is off, and after a bit of pondering, he actually makes the call. They decide to run it twice.
Call. Wow.
Run twice?
Yeah. Got something good?
Why you call me?
What do you mean, why I call you? Of course I'm gonna call. What? What do you fucking do? You think everyone's gonna fold? There's like 1 million in the pot. Same hand. Fuck. I'm stupid. That's me? Fuck you.
You also had ace.
Fucking the rock.
You had ace? No?
No, ace like Mark. What do you fuck? Why you go all in? Yeah, why you go?
Just gamble. We just drink for me winning this flop.
Ace 10 up.
Shun.
You think you're just gonna get through 3 people?
Shun. How many times? 2.
Tony Ma. I'm fucked.
Such a easy money.
You're gonna run it twice.
I'm crushing this flop.
Easy money. Running it twice, right?
Yeah.
Alright, thank fucking God. Give him a fucking jack. God damn it, I'm so fucked.
Mikita wins the first one.
Fuck you, Mikita.
Mikita wins the first run out, making a straight. On the second run out, he flops trips, and Kates looks like he's about to rage quit. But then, something insane happened.
When I have 2 of them, yeah. Yeah, I need like a fucking ace or something. What?
Oh, a lot of outs now. Flush beats a full house.
Sure?
2 times again. 很有机会啊！曹威没有他的，我又没有他的。
Yeah, gamble.
他妈的，第2个我赢了。
I need.
我也不赢，他
Fucking miracle.
Oh, wild flush
Oh my God.
for Jungle Man.
A jack of hearts on the river, and Dan gets the elusive royal flush. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime hand for most players. This one was so crazy, Mikita wasn't even mad about losing that second run out. Speaking of losing with a full house, wait till you see this next hand, just as tragic as the rest of them. We've already seen some brutal coolers, but this one is as cold as it gets. This one comes from the 2023 EPT in Barcelona. Robin Yulitalo opens the action with ace-jack, and Patrick Antonius defends his big blind with ace-7 suited. Pretty standard stuff so far, but then the flop comes, ace-jack-7, and both players completely smash the board. Robin goes for a c-bet, and Patrick makes the call, thinking he's the one that's setting the trap. And just when you think it can't get any worse for Patrick, the turn hits. Another ace, and both players boat up. Robin keeps barreling, and Patrick keeps calling, still thinking he's ahead. But reality is about to hit him like a cold shower. The river changes nothing yet again. Antonius checks one last time, ready to pounce with a check raised jam.
It goes, what, like 75, 80K, and then he makes it 250, and then there's still another 150 behind.
I mean, the money should go in. Rubinho now deciding whether he wants to target a jack or just go polar. Now he's just gonna employ a subtle. No, he's got
78 or 83.
But Patrick now will decide whether to jam or to just put in a smaller raise. To me, jam would make sense. But
yeah,
we shall see. We shall see. Patrick, this is probably a genuine. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All in and a call, and Patrick Antonius gets cooled.
What a hand, what a hand.
Getting your full house beat by a stronger full house is tragic. But if you play poker for long enough, it's bound to happen sooner or later. But in this next hand, 3 players actually managed to make a full house in the same hand. So let's see what happens when 3 boats collide. This next one is probably the most insane roller coaster hands I've ever seen, and it's not even close. This one comes from the 2012 European Poker Tour in Barcelona, and we have a huge multi-way pot brewing. Theo Jorgensen opens the action and gets a bunch of callers. Not something you want to see when you're holding ace-king. He gets not 2, not 3, but 4 callers. With 5 players coming into the pot, you know we're guaranteed to see some fireworks. And the flop does not disappoint. Queen 6-6. Nikolaisen and Troyanovsky flop trips, and Poplavskis flops a monster full house. With no available queens left in the deck, you'd think Poplavskis would have a lock on this hand already. A dream flop by any account, but this hand is far from over. Poplavskis is the first to lead out. With so many players in the pot, he's counting that at least one of them could have something to pay him off with. Nikolaisen makes the call, and Troyanovsky jams the rest of the stack in the middle. With so much action in front of him, Poplavskis figures that he might get in as well. And sure enough, Nikolaisen joins the party, resulting in a massive 3-way all-in. And then it happens. One of the most insane runouts in tournament history.
He wears wrinkled clothes. I don't know, he's never folding.
He reshoves. What does Nikolaisen do now?
I think he should sometimes be able to find a fold here, but no.
He calls, so Troyanovsky and Nikolaisen both at risk and both way behind. A 10 on the turn sees Nikolaisen improve to a better full house.
That is just horrific.
And a jack on the river sees Troyanovsky win the pot.
What is happening here?
That was an insane hand, but at least all the players had some reasonable equity on the flop. But the same can't be said for this next hand. As promised, we've saved the most tragic bad beat for last. Next up, you're about to see one of the grossest bad beats ever. After seeing this one, I guarantee you'll feel better about your aces getting cracked a few times in a row. We're at the 2014 European Poker Tour in Barcelona. It's day 3 of the $50,000 buy-in super high roller, and we're down to the final table. Sven Reichardt opens the action with pocket kings, and the action folds to Olivier Bosquet on the button. He looks down at ace-2 suited. Bosquet is clinging to life with barely 20 big blinds left, so he has to make a stand, and fast. He moves all in, hoping to scoop up a pot pre-flop to help him in the game. If the opponent calls, he still has a decent hand that can often survive a showdown. But Sven snaps him off right away, and Olivier already knows that it's bad news. Then the flop comes. King 8-8, and Sven flops a full house. Olivier is all but ready to pack his bags, but then it happened.
That would be brutal. Reichardt almost flops him dead.
More than almost. He's got less than 1%.
8-8. 8-8. Or aces.
Oh boy.
Bosquet now has 2 outs.
Great television.
Bosquet needs another ace to survive. And it is another ace!
So you're saying there's a chance?
Unbelievable! Less than 1% on the flop.
Probably the sickest beat in EPT history. Fun fact, on the flop, Bosquet had only a 0.4% chance to win the hand. With that miracle runout, he came back from the dead, and in the end, he actually won the tournament, taking home almost 900,000 euros. So yeah, this has to be one of the luckiest tournament runs ever. But it's nothing compared to Chris Moneymaker's legendary story. Chris was one of the first amateur players who managed to qualify to a WSOP main event from an online satellite tournament. In the end, he managed to outplay the pros and win the whole thing, becoming the first amateur ever to take down the coveted bracelet. If you want to know how a guy who's never even played a live tournament before managed to beat the poker's elite and win millions of dollars in the process, make sure to watch this video next. We'll see you there.